So let us pay respect to the Buddha first, and then we'll do our short metta meditation and then conduct the class. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right. So now we are going to do the metta meditation. So please sit comfortably. Keep your back upright. And then pay attention to the metta target groups. Metta means unlimited friendliness. That means you are sending friendliness unlimitedly, starting from you to your loved ones, then neutral people. Neutral people mean those people who you don't have any particular likes or dislikes. And the fourth group is challenging difficult beings. And the fifth one is all living beings. So first, let us start metta from us. Please pay attention to these aspects of metta. And then at the same time, you cultivate wishes for yourself and for others. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May no problems come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have patience, courage, determination to meet and overcome inevitable problems, difficulties, failures in my life. May my parents, family members, neutral people, challenging difficult beings, people, and all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable problems, difficulties, and failures in their lives. Let us take a moment of time to reflect, sending metta to us and to these beings which I mentioned a while ago. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Right. So, So we have a few newcomers today, right? So we have Sabrina and then Ben and Sister Chu. Huh? Yeah, Chu. Sorry, I forgot your name again. So three newcomers. So we started the class as Brother Tan mentioned. I think fourth class. So in March, mistaken, right? We started this class in March, almost well over 2 months now. 29 of March. And the class, the way how we discuss, depending on my schedule, but we left it for a Sunday. And another Sunday that I'm thinking is, that was not posted, is 24th, but I cannot yet confirm. But other than that, if we cannot do that, we go by the poster. I think posters next day will be June 7th and June 21st, and then July, August. That's how we do the class. So this class, I will have to clarify the objectives. This class is focusing about the most important teachings of the Buddha through a material. The material is, as you can see, Dhammapada. Okay? So there are so many Dhammapada translations. But we are using this book because this is quite closer to what we are trying to understand in our Dhammapada. Yet no translation is perfect, right? But this is good because this has the meaning. Also, this book has order. See, you want to see the Pali construction. What do you call the word construction? You can see. Otherwise, we have to see how to figure out this idea. One what you call preposition is somewhere, other preposition at the end. So, but this shows exactly how you have to understand. You can understand that Pali stanza. Not even that. The Dhamma teaching and then the story. This is very important. The story of the particular stanza. Now, if I again share with you, with new ones too, what is the importance of Dhammapada? Why are we not picking up a sutta for this class? The reason why we picked up Dhammapada was that the group is coming from different aspects. Sometimes Mahayana, sometimes they know only basic Buddhism. So I wanted to make it very as simple as I can, at the same time touching the deeper Dhamma teachings in simple context. And you know, Dhammapada is the handbook of Buddhists, not the Tipitaka, not the Nikayas, right? Why is it? It is because Dhammapada's stanzas are not coming from Dhammapada. Dhammapada stanzas are coming from Nikaya suttas. All these stanzas are coming from different suttas. That means when you finish learning this thing one day, which means you have read more than 400 suttas. Maybe more than that. Because sometimes some verses are mentioned in many suttas. That means even more than suttas will be your study. Right? That's why we want to learn this way. And on the other hand, sometimes when you learn one sutta, it only touches a certain aspect of the Dhamma teachings. But when you learn Dhammapada, you cover the whole Dhamma teachings. So that's why we picked up Dhammapada. So in here, if you go to the contents here, as you can see, we have done the first verse, second verse, third, fourth verses, and also the fifth one, because we did first and second on the first day, then third, fourth on the second day, and yes, and then fifth verse on the third day, and today sixth verse number 6. So what you can do, you have to go and click on this, the story of Kosambi monks sentence. We'll click on that. it will go to the page. Okay, the stanza is this. Let us all read this stanza. Parechana vijananti mayametta yamamase yecha tatta vijananti tato sammanti medaga. What is this? 1.6? Huh? First chapter, 6th stanza. Easy, right? First, Dhammapada has 26 chapters, 423 verses. This is 6. Right? A long way to go, right? Sansara, what to do, right? We go a very, very much longer way than this. Right? So, we'll see. Parechana vijananti mayamettaya mamase. Na vijananti. Na vijananti. That means don't know, don't understand. Vijananti means not known. You can see here, not know. Who? Those people who are unwise don't know. What they don't know? Mayang etta yamamase. I have to die one day at the end somewhere. Yama means, Yama, the Pali word Yama means, this is a name of someone. You know, there are different names for different. Mara is the one who tempts us to things, right? Sometimes we think, you have to be angry now, you know. You have to be. That is your health. Then there's another person called Yama. Who is Yama? The god of death. Have you ever respected him? Huh? Never respect him. Yama means the god of death. The god of existence is Mara and the other gods. So there is a sutta called Devaduta Sutta. Devaduta, I'm telling you some additional things to say. This is a sutta coming in the Majjhima Nikaya. You can see Majjhima Nikayas 130. The divine messengers. This sutta teaches us how does the Yama, inquires someone who came to the hell. You know, someone who is a bad person who went to the hell, and then now the Yama has dogs. Those Yama dogs bring the perpetrator into the Yama. Don't think that they are normal dogs. Perhaps they are some kind of dog like people. We don't know exactly. Maybe they are face, but maybe they are beings in another form. Not exactly the dog, right? So they are bringing the perpetrator in front of the Yama. Yama has to run a court case, the criminal case in the Apaya. So normally Yama asks, if you go to this sutta, it says something very interesting. Let's go. If I can show you that. If I can find, otherwise I will tell you. Okay, later you can take a look. It's a long sutta. What does the sutta say here is that Yama asks the person about whether you knew Jati, Jara, Vyadi, Marana. Right? Jati means birth, Jara means aging, Vyadi means sickness, Marana means death. So if the person said no idea about it, then Yama, it is said Yama becomes silent for a moment. What does it mean? Asking Yama's dogs to bring him to the punishment. Sometimes when you don't talk, that's not a good sign. When you meet certain people, they don't talk to you, that's not good. Yama follows the same way. Yama asked the question, do you know, no, actually he's asking this way, do you know the divine messengers? Deva Duta, right? Then the person who has no Dhamma knowledge says, I don't know who they are. Right? Divine messengers. Then Yama is trying to teach him Jati, Jara, Vyadi, Marana. If he is still not understanding, That means he's bringing them into the punishment. So now as humans, you are much luckier than all them, right? Because you know them, right? You know them. Hopefully that we are not meeting Yama. In case we meet him, we can answer him. So he can let you loose, right? So that means Yama Masi means, so this verb is telling us, go to the Yama. Go to near, actually when we die, that means we are taken over by the Yama. It doesn't mean we are going exactly to the Yama's place. But Yama means the symbol of the death, right? Symbol of the death. That means some people do not understand that we die in this world, right? But there's a Pali word called pare. Pare means except wise people. Pare means pare except wise people. Some people don't understand. I would say most people do not understand. What they don't understand? The last two. Ye cha tat vijananti tatu sammanti medaga. That means, medaga means quarrels, fights, right? They don't understand that earlier Maya Mette Mama said that they die. If they understand this, if they know this, that will stop their fights. Actually, any moment you are into an argument, you are into a fight with someone, if you think that I one day, why to quarrel with this person that much? We don't have to quarrel with this person. If I die, if I don't carry this body to the next life, even I don't carry this body, why I am very worried about this argument, right? Why I am so much worried about uh, things that are happening to me, right? So if you think that way, your quarrels, fights will end at that point. So that means many people do not understand, especially those people who are into fights, that they die. If someone understands, if some understand, their quarrels, their fights with other people will end very fast. There is a very interesting story. Let's take a look. Okay, normally in our class we will ask our students to read. Recollection of death brings peace. Is there an event over there?
Wedding.
Outside? Okay. I see. Okay, so you will read this part while the story of Kosambi monks.
The story of Kosambi monks. While residing at the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi, the Buddha uttered this verse with reference to the monks of Kosambi.
Okay, so then this story, this verse was given by the Buddha with reference to the monks of Kosambi, right? So this is what we understand. So we will ask someone else to read the rest.
The monks of Kosambi had formed into two groups. One group followed the master of Vinaya, and the other followed the teacher of the Dhamma. Once they were quarreling among themselves over a minor Vinaya rule. Even the Buddha could not stop them from quarreling, so he left them and spent the Vasa, religious retreat, in the monsoon season, all alone in Rakita Grove near Parileyaka forest. There, the elephant Parileya waited upon the Buddha.
Okay, very interesting. Now, Buddha was going through a certain issue. You can see he was living in Kosambi. There was a temple in Kosambi. The temple is called Goshita Rama. It is called Goshita Rama. Goshita Rama means someone made it in that particular city, because there are certain, sometimes translations were really not done properly. There's another temple called Kukkuta Rama, right? How many of you have been to India? Is it in bucket list, in your bucket list? Or any other list? Yes. So when you go to India, you know these temples. Kukkutarama. So when you translate Kukkutarama, I mean these translators, um, they translate very different, especially in a literal perspective. Some translated this to be Kukkutarama means the what do you call, the place of the chicken. Kukkuta means chicken, or maybe roosters. Then some people even translate very hilariously, the temple of the cock. So I mean, it's very, yes. But when you read it, Kukkutarama is not chicken. Kukkutarama means the temple constructed by the minister or banker called Kukkuta. Not about chicken. Right? That's why it's very important to know Pali. Otherwise, you translate technically. When you translate technically, those people who know Pali can feel, right? What kind of Pali are you talking about? Right? So, it's like that. So, what happened during the time Buddha spent his Vassa in this Kosambi, there was a problem start. I think this is very interesting to discuss. Monks in that temple, the place where Buddha was staying, they made two groups. One group is Vinaya group, the other one is the Dhamma group. Do we have this group in today's temples? Not monks, sometimes devotees. Vinaya group, Dhamma group. Right? Sometimes there are people between. Right? So, no. Vinaya as a book relevant to the monks. But Vinaya means Sila part. Too much Sila. Too much rules and regulations. That's what we have to understand. Actually, what happened was that certain monks, they overemphasize Vinaya than Dhamma. And some other monks, they overemphasize Dhamma. So they had clashes time to time. Right? Sometimes, when you run a temple, you know some devotees having different attitudes about, right? Some are very worried about Vinaya aspects. Okay? And some are very much into only Dhamma thing. Both are problematic. Yeah, both are problematic. I tell you why. Because when the Buddha was going to pass away, we have information, right? From where do we understand this information? The Buddha's last time, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, Digha Nikaya. There you see what happened. So then, Venerable Ananda asked from the Buddha, after you pass away, who will take over your role? At that time, Arahant Sariputta passed away already, had passed away. Arahant Moggallana had passed away. The most senior monk at that point was Venerable Arahant Mahakassapa. But he was not in the temple. He left the city, right? Why he left the city? There was a reason. Why Arahant Mahakassapa left Jetavanarama city? Because it is said that Arahant Mahakassapa and the Buddha look the same from the face. So what happened? There was a lady who was offering dana to Arahant Mahakassapa, right? Bit older lady. So every day, Arahant Mahakassapa goes on that street, and she offers dana. She even treats Arahant Mahakassapa as a son, the age difference. So one day on this road, the Buddha happened to go for Pindapat. So the lady thought, my son is coming, I offer dana now, Pindapat. So she offered, but after a while, she saw her own imagination monk is coming. Then she thought, I think I made a mistake. I gave the food to a wrong monk. Perhaps she can afford only a little bit of food that day, right? So what she did was, she walked fast and then told the Buddha, I need the food. Then the Buddha stretched the alms bowl because he's the one I'm giving dana. Then she scooped the food and offered the food to the Arahant Mahakashyapa. Arahant Mahakashyapa saw the incident. He was very embarrassed to see the incident. And then on that day, he determined from today onwards, I'm not going to be in the city. Because people understand me and the Buddha alike. So, and I'm causing harm to the Buddha in a way. Actually, if the lady had known that this was the Buddha, right, that's a different situation. That means Buddha is not having all these lights and all that, you see the Buddha has a lot of lights, aura. Only when he wants, he has light and aura. But you see, Buddha is having all the things, right? Even we see how much aura we are talking about. Think about. It's a full-fledged version of the Buddha, right? Because if the lady, if the Buddha was like this, lady could have understood the Buddha right away. So what happened? Then Arahant Mahakashyapa left the place. So he was the most senior monk. And then it was said, the funeral ceremony of the Buddha, when they were trying to set fire to the Buddha's, fire, it did not light up. Why? Then they were checking what happened. Because until Arahant Mahakashyapa come and pay last respect, this cannot be done. It was a wish that he made, and Devas don't let that happen, waiting for him because he will be the next successor. But anyway, Buddha did not talk about him, because in this case, what he said was that after I pass away, Dhamma and Vinaya both will be your teacher. No person. Dhamma and Vinaya equally will be your teacher. Not Dhamma only or Vinaya only. What happened to these people then? They didn't understand that thing, right? Even before. They thought, because when you learn some rules and regulation, it is possible sometimes you can become very rigid and clung to those rules. Right? It can become so, right? And then you forget about those things. Now think about, if you look at Vinaya, the Buddha even asked monks to wear 2-layered footwear. Right? 2-layered footwear, because he understood the situation at that time. And then if someone is saying that no, Buddha asks us to walk barefoot, that is not Vinaya. That is your own Vinaya interpretation. Okay, that's why we have to be very careful. If there's something that was not given by the Buddha, but you create your own interpretation, that could be a problem. I think this Vinaya group is like that. They made their own Vinaya. Actually, what happened actually? This is a washroom problem. Very trivial problem. They went to the washroom. One group said, you need to keep some water for the next person. Other group said, no need. Someone who goes inside will carry the water. So then Vinaya group and Dhamma group clash each other. The interesting thing is that even they did not listen to the Buddha. Right? That's the interesting thing. So they were quarreling each other because it became very rigid. Other group saying it's not necessary to do that. So what happened? They were forming the group. So what happened? They quarreled to the point that Buddha had to leave the temple. He left the temple. What does this mean? Sometimes advices might not work. Right? Advices and guidance might not work, because advices, guidance only work for people who can listen, who really want to learn. Right? Now think about Venerable Channa. Venerable Channa. Who is that? Venerable Channa means the Buddha's lay life driver, charioteer. Channa. That's Channa. So Channa also became a monk later, right? But after he became a monk, he was expecting special treatment from the Buddha. Because I know you, I am the one who helped you. There was nobody to bring you out. I am the one who told you the 4 signs. That means sick person, dead person, right? The monk and all these 4 signs. So you should give me a higher place in the Sangha. The Buddha said, I cannot do that. Because all these, especially he's pointing out Arahant Sariputta and Moggallana. They came very late, but they got the highest positions in the monk Sangha Sasana. The Buddha said they have done good karmas to become so. Right? Then he became very, very stubborn. When the Buddha said A, he is talking B. You know, he's always picking uppercase with the Buddha. So there was a point that Buddha told other monks, now we have to bring the capital punishment to monk Chan. What is the capital punishment? We will stop talking to monk Chan. Right? So then what happened? It was effective even until the Buddha passed away. Then only they released that. Does it help sometime? When you stop talking to someone for a while, does that help that person to become a little bit better person? Huh? No, does it help? Sometime. It is different, right? Any other answers? Does it help? It might be, right? It might be, might not be. But we are not the right people to decide that. It depends, right? Because after this, you might think, if the Buddha did that, why not? We do it to our bad people, people who we cannot manage. Anyway, so this is what we learn. And Buddha went to Parilayaka forest to, spend the rest of the Vassa time. And there, one elephant called Parileya supported the Buddha. And there was a monkey as well. It said that the monkey brought some honeycomb, everything, offered the Buddha, and the elephant took care of the Buddha. This is what we learn at this point. In the next paragraph will be read by, the lay disciples.
The lay disciples of Kosambi, on learning the reason for the departure of the Buddha, refused to make offerings to the remaining monks. This made them realize their mistake, and reconciliation took place among themselves. Still, the lay disciples would not treat them as respectfully as before until they owned up their fault to the Buddha. But the Buddha was away, and it was in the middle of the Vassa. So the monks of Kosambi spent the Vassa in misery and hardship.
Okay, so then what happened? Then devotees came to learn that Buddha left the temple and they stopped giving dana, right? They are not like you, right? You are very compassionate than them, right? Whatever happened, you want to give dana, right? You think it's your personal respect. But anyway, they refuse. And then what happened? When they don't get food, their arguments went away. You must have food and beverages to keep your arguments. If you are starving, then what argument is that? You cannot think about arguments. So that means it's like a philosophical death, right? And that's how it happens. So what happened then? Devotees stopped giving dana, and then monks became really uncomfortable, and it was a very bad Vassa for all the monks over there. And who will be the next? You would like to read? Yes. At the end of the Vassa, you will read the last paragraph.
At the end of the Vassa, the Venerable Ananda and many monks approached the Buddha and gave the message from Anathapindika and other lay disciples, imploring him to return. In due course, the Buddha returned to the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi. The monks followed him there, fell down at his feet, and admitted their fault. The Buddha rebuked them for disobeying him. He told them to remember that they must all die someday, and therefore they must stop their quarrel and must not act as if they would never die.
Very interesting. That means what the Buddha was trying to teach us is that one of the best ways to what you call recover from an argument is that always think we are dying. Why to argue with other people, right? When there is a big argument coming to your mind to do with other people, always think about this. It will help you to de-escalate, right? Because why we argue, we think we exist permanently. We have to protect our identity. We have to protect our names, our reputation. So we think they all last forever. But when we know that time is limited, because our problem is we think we have time, right? We always think we have time, but don't know when the time is up. Then sometimes we cannot do a lot of things. So I think this is a very interesting way to think about if you have a character that you always think you want to win with an argument, right? I think here what happened, Buddha came back, and then actually when the Buddha came back, what happened? Parileya elephant died from a heart attack. He became a deva in the Tavatinsa heaven. It is said that he followed the Buddha, asking Buddha not to go because he created some kind of affection to the Buddha, and he passed away. He became the Parileyaka Devaputta in the heaven, because the animals really took care of him. When the humans couldn't take care of the Buddha, animals took care of him. That's very interesting. Yes, he saw people came and brought him. Now all these monks went to the Parali forest, and the elephant didn't know what's happening. He was watching. Then he followed them. At a certain point onwards, he cannot go. It's the normal city area. So he died out of a heart attack, and he passed away. He became a deva. Monkey, something similar. I cannot exactly remember what happened to the monkey, but monkey also supported the Buddha. But elephant is a very famous story, part in this story. That means when humans cannot take care of the Buddha, animals took care of him, right? So now the message here has to be discussed in bit more details. Now let me talk about this Vinaya and Dhamma a little bit more. I think you need to know, because you learn them differently, how to. Now earlier I told Dhamma Vinaya must be practiced together, not separately. Sometimes when you learn a little bit of as a layperson, forget about the monk's Vinaya and your own Sila. Okay, your own Sila. Sometimes you become very rigid about your Sila. I can share with you a story. In one of the retreats, long time ago, it was a 8 precept retreat. That means participants take 8 precepts. Then, out of the 8 precepts, there's one precept called Nacha Gita Vadita Visuka Dasana Mala Gandha Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanattana Veraman Sikkapada. That means Mala Gandha Vilepana. That means one participant, someone is now complaining, one participant had sprayed lots of perfume, and this participant is complaining that she shouldn't have sprayed perfume because it is a 8 precept program. So I had to ask that person to come. We don't know what's happening, right? Different people's situations are different. Actually, the person was sharing with us that I sprayed the perfume because she has a natural body odor. But she wanted to come and join the retreat. So out of lot of metta, before she came to the temple, she sprayed. Not that she is using in a way that the other person thinks about it. See? That's why we have to understand. So that means even though using that much of perfume might be something not appropriate in the text, but different people have different problems. So we have to accommodate these people, right? Because out of all these Vinaya rules and Vinaya things, what is more important? Compassion. If we lose compassion, there's no Vinaya, no Dhamma, forget about Abhidhamma and cultures. But in that, we are looking at the most important things, especially disciplinary things. That is one example. Now, even you see other things, you can see that you should not need to cling to your discipline, but you should be disciplined. But don't become too much disciplined. When you are too disciplined, you are clinging to your own discipline. Right? Sometimes it itself is your problem in the family. You are very rigid in your rules and regulations. Others cannot simply survive in the household. They run away when they see you. They go and close their doors, and coming. Right? Because you are too rigid on others. It's not a good thing. I mean, of course, everybody has to have some discipline, but not too much discipline. So when you follow Vinaya in a very too rigid way, it can be a problem. I think I shared another story yesterday in the retreat. In that story, there was a monk who practiced his vows well, but somewhere in his practice, he accidentally took one, he broke one branch apart in a small tree. As Upasampada monk at that time, monks are not going to break all these trees. Actually, why the Buddha said that? There were many reasons. Because long time ago, there were no devotees who can support Sangha members. What monks did was they go to the forest, they cut all the trees, bring all the wood and make their kuti. So what happened? Some of the Deva complained the Buddha. Monks come into the forest, they cut our trees. Because trees are their place, right? So then even the Metta Sutta is a sutta given by the Buddha for this reason. Right? Because they took over some of the forest trees, they started practicing their thing. The Devas said they trespass our places. It's not good. Then the Buddha said, when you go to the forest, you must practice metta. What if not even they practice metta, at the end they cut the tree, bring the wood back to somewhere? Right? That's very horrible, right? So then what happened? The Buddha said, that's the reason. That's why Buddha said, don't cut, don't even break a branch. The main reason is that. So this monk understood that, I think this is not nice. I've been doing very well in my practice, but this happened. I'm very worried about this incident. So during the moment he passed away, this came to his mind. Okay, I was very good, but I broke that thing. So what happened? Because he was very much worried about what he did, he passed away. He was reborn as a very large snake in the same area where he was staying as a monk. Right? Normally when you pass away with worries, hatred, you will become not animal, snake, but specifically a snake. That's why it's not good to carry anger. Because once you're angry, you die, you know what will happen to you. So take the risk. Every time you're angry, you think about, should I take the risk or not? Because normally you justify your anger. I have to be angry. Otherwise, other people don't see that I'm serious about it. But what if you are angry at the same time you die, like Dharma Shoka? Right? He passed away when he was angry, right? He said in the commentaries he became a big python in the Himalayas for a while. That means anger, hatred, right? So the monk was like that. So the idea here is that even that monk could understand a little bit of Dhamma, then that will be balanced out. That's why you need to learn Dhamma as well. Dhamma is your main reference. Vinaya supports you to practice Dhamma. Not Vinaya is more important than Dhamma. Right? Because Vinaya things are changing as we evolve. But we keep the main ones, main precepts. But other small things are going to be changed as we evolve. But if you don't learn Dhamma, you only learn about Vinaya because you can control other people. Right? You can't do this, you can do this. Then what will happen is, that you will lose your practice. You will merely become a regulator, right? That's why it's very important to understand that Vinaya we have to learn. I mean, your Vinaya is your lay precepts. For the Sangha members, their own Vinaya. And more importantly, why we have Vinaya? Because we want to learn Dhamma and to become better people and then to finally attain Nibbana one. That's the purpose. Not that we always keep talking about this is good, this is bad. So I want to share with you a story for this, a real story. I think the story will come to us in a future week, one day. There was a businessman who met a Sangha member during the Buddhist time. So he asked from the monk, I want to do something Buddhist. Can you tell me what to do? And he said to that man, I don't know a lot of Buddhism, but you can do dana. Right? Then he asked, what is dana? Dana means you bring food to the vihara, or maybe you can offer Sangha members while they are on Pindapata. That is what dana. So he started giving dana. Then again he approached the monk, asked, I've been doing dana. Is there anything I can do other than this dana? So he was doing once a month earlier. Then he said, you can do maybe 2 times a month. So this way, the businessman approached him a couple times. So the monk said, okay, you can do weekly. So he has been doing dana weekly at that point. Then he asked the monk, what else? Is there only dana in Buddhism? Isn't there any other thing I can practice? Then he said, you can practice a sila. You can practice sila, 5 precepts. So he started practicing 5 precepts. Now time is going. After a while, he again approached the monk and he asked, is there anything else I can practice other than dana and sila? And he said, I told you I don't know a lot of Buddhism, right? I only know dana and sila. Maybe you better be a monk. This is what many people say, dana sila, I don't know, you become a monk. Right? Okay. So he said, okay, how to become a monk? He said, you go and find a teacher in a vihara and you can become a monk. He said, okay, I will go ask my wife. And then the wife told him, okay, so as long as you are happy, you become a monk, but I'll be waiting for you. I think she thought this would be a temporary activity. And then what happened? He became a monk. But the thing is, when you become a monk, you are having 2 teachers, right? Acharya, Upajjaya. Acharya means the one who ordains you, and the one who is the teacher is the one who is closely associating you, and there's another one higher than the teacher, which is called Upajjaya. You can call him as a mentor. You don't see that person all the time. Maybe once a month, maybe quarterly, you meet that person. But the thing here for this businessman was his Upajjaya teacher was into Abhidhamma. So he was an Abhidhamma teacher. Right? He talks about very, very deep concepts. When you ask thought, there are 89 thoughts. Oh, 89. I can't take care of one thought, 89. So many. Not even thoughts. Inside the thought, Chetasika. What is that? 52. Too complicated now. Right? He's like that. And then his Acharya is a Vinaya teacher. He's very strict. You can't do this, you cannot go there. So after a while he thought, earlier I was a very free man. I'm doing business. I don't do an 8 to 5 job. It's very free. When I want, I do, I come back. But now this teacher is not letting me even raise my hand, It's wrong. Put it down. Right? The Upajjaya is talking very deep Dhamma. I cannot even understand. I think this is a trap for me now. So I think I better disrobe. I cannot do this. So one day, now he thought, this next morning I'm going to disrobe. So other monks, they understood what he's packing his stuff. They understood that he's going to leave. So they informed the Buddha. So then the Buddha asked him to come. And then he asked, why are you leaving? He said, I was earlier a good layperson. I've been practicing Dhamma very well. But because of that monk, I became a monk. I don't know what he told me. He told me this and that I did. But now I understand being a monk is not workable for me. It might be good, but not workable for me. So, and other thing is that my teacher is a very much Vinaya teacher, and Upajjhaya is Abhidhamma one. Even I'm not comfortable to work with them in my practice, so I better disrobe. Then the Buddha said, forget about Abhidhamma. That's the important part here. Forget about Vinaya. Can you do one thing for me? He said, one thing. One thing is easy to do. Tell me that one thing. Can you take care of your thoughts? Hardest thing. He said, okay, I will do that. Then, within a short time, he became an arahant. That means, only when the right teacher rises, you will progress. Upajjhayas, Abhidhamma, Acharyas, Vinaya did not work for him. That's why, while we respect Abhidhamma teachings, Vinaya teachings, sometimes it's not for somebody. So the right teacher should arise when the right conditions are arising as well. So for that man, because his background, his way of contributing, practice, it didn't really work with that kind of a rigorous practice. Right? So that's why it's important to understand that that a balance of Vinaya and Dhamma teachings is what we want. But the most important thing is Dhamma, but we follow the Dhamma with our discipline. So that's something very important. Second is that there's a sutta called Kesi Sutta. Perhaps we go and see that. So you will know Kesi Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 4.11. Can we read this sutta? So we will learn something very interesting. Okay, so maybe we will ask someone to read, maybe over there. This is very relevant to what we are learning today from the Dhammapada.
Then, with Casey. Then Casey, the horse trainer, went up to the Buddha, bowed, and sat down to one side.
Give me a second. Okay.
The Buddha said to him, Casey, you are known as a horse trainer. Just how do you guide a horse in training? Sir, I guide a horse in training sometimes gently, sometimes harshly, and sometimes both gently and harshly.
Okay. Now, a horse trainer met the Buddha. His name is Casey. Now, Buddha is very wondering to us, how are you training your horses? And he says, sometimes gently, sometimes harshly, sometimes the both way. Right? And then the next person will be over there. Yes. You will be reading here, Casey.
Casey, what do you do with a horse in training that doesn't follow this form of training? In that case, sir, I kill it. Why is that? So that I don't disgrace my tradition.
Interesting. Now the Buddha is asking a counter question. What if, because you are spending time to train horses, there may be a very disruptive, stubborn horse that you may not discipline with your guidance. What would you do? He said he would kill that horse. The underlying idea is that it's a waste of time to guide that person. Because so many other horses, so better to kill, because the problem is if I bring this stubborn horse into the functions, this horse will make a mess. So it will disgrace my father's ancestors' tradition. So it's very much into ancestors. Right? Okay, and then?
But sir,
okay.
The Buddha is the supreme guide for those fit for training. Just how do you guide a person in training? Casey, I guide a person in training sometimes gently, sometimes harshly, and sometimes both gently and harshly.
Okay, so Buddha also picked up his own point, right? Buddha was, I also follow your same way. Sometimes I am gentle, sometimes I am not, a little bit harsh, sometimes I am both. And the next one?
The gentle way is this. This is good conduct by way of body, speech, and mind. This is the result of good conduct by way of body, speech, and mind. This is a life as a God. This is life as a human.
What is the good way? Good way means Buddha teaches that particular person that this is the good conduct, this is how you do good things with your body, mind, and speech, and this is how you become a human. Next life, this is how you become a God. Harsh way?
The harsh way is this. This is bad conduct by way of body, speech, and mind. This is the result of a bad conduct by way of body, speech, and mind. This is life in hell. This is life as an animal. This is life as a ghost.
Clear. So then polar opposite, and this is the bad conduct, and what will happen to you when you do that. And then the next one.
The both gentle and harsh way is this. This is good conduct. This is bad conduct.
The both. Would you like to read the next two, sir?
Sir, what do you do with a person in training who doesn't follow these forms of training? In that case, Cassie, I kill them.
Buddha also going to kill them, you know. You better watch out, you know. Killing, yeah. And then, yeah, sir?
Sir, it's not appropriate for the Buddha to kill living creatures, and yet you say you kill them.
Now he's wondering, according to what I understand, it's not appropriate for the Buddha to kill living beings, but you say yet you kill them. And the next person, it is true.
It's true, Casey. It's not appropriate for a realized one to kill living creatures. But when a person in training doesn't follow any of these forms of training, the realized one doesn't think they're worth advising or instructing.
The Buddha doesn't think that it is worth teaching them. And neither do their
sensible spiritual companions. For it is killing in the training of the noble one when the realized one doesn't think they are worth advising or instructing, and neither do they sensible spiritual companions.
Actually, what does it mean by the killing according to Buddha? It is not a physical killing. What does he do? He stopped guiding that person. Right? Once he stopped guiding that person, that is the killing in the noble path, Arya path. Say for instance, you have a very good teacher, the teacher stopped guiding you. You are lost. Not even a teacher, you have a very good Kalyana Mitta. For some reasons, something happens. Right? So that is what the killing in the Buddhist teachings. And then?
Well, they are definitely dead when the realized one doesn't think they are worth advising or instructing, and neither do their sensible spiritual companions. Excellent, sir. From this day forth, may the Buddha remember me as a lay follower who has gone for refuge for life.
So, and he accepts that idea. But I think something you did not notice here. We go back. Can we look at what is this gentle training, harsh training, and both gentle, harsh training which the Buddha does? Where is it? Okay. Here, the gentle way. Okay. Casey, I guide a person in training. Training means practice. Sometimes gently, sometimes harshly, sometimes both gently and harshly. Gentle way is, this is good conduct by way of body, speech, mind. This is the result of good conduct by way of body, speech, mind. This is life as a God, this life as a human. Now, can you think about your guidance? How you were trained? Your training comes from where? No. Spiritual training. Where is the first entry point to your training? Sila. What exactly is that point? Taking 5 precepts. Is 5 precepts a gentle way of training? That is my question now. Is it? Is it? No. Five precept is not a gentle way of training, because in five precept what you are saying is that I don't kill, not that you take care of other beings. Now five precept go from the wrong thing and you are saying you don't do it. So five precept is harsh training. The Buddha knew that he has to use the harsh training for the lay people. That means monks also train you in the harsh way. Right? Why they couldn't have told, I take the precept of taking care of me and other human beings, sentient beings. Why couldn't have taught you, I take the precept of protecting my valuables, possessions, also other people valuables. How do you take it? There's something called stealing, I don't do it. Right? That's what you take. Third one, Kamesu Michachara Veramani Sikkapadan Samadhiya. Why the Buddha taught us, did not teach us the way, especially lay people, I'm going to protect my and other people relationship. Why it is said that there is something called sexual behavior, I don't do it. Why is it? It is because it is given as a harsh training. Why harsh training is necessary? To create a moral boundary. Then you know this is the boundary, I should not go to that level. You are below that. Right? So, this harsh way is your normal precept training. What about the gentle way? Yes, Buddha had advised certain very small number of people in that gentle training. Certain people. Now, when some certain people come to see the Buddha, Buddha knew that I don't have to teach these people in the harsh way because they are already cultivated. Their cultivation is very good. So then the Buddha taught in a good way. Good way means when you do this, you will get this. Not when you don't do this, you will get this thing. Actually, this is happening, right? Now, when you work with your people in your house, work, when you know the person can understand what should be done, you don't want to open your mouth and say, there's the garbage bin, there is this, wash the cups, rinse this. You don't have to, because they pick up very fast. But when you see someone who have no idea about it, you have to train from zero. Actually, it is harsh training. Yes. Go pick up that one, grab it, wash it. That person also become a little bit, I'm being kind of manipulated by this person. But I have to, no choice. Right? That's why the Buddha guides us in three ways. Now you look at, now Buddha is no more, how monks are guiding you. Right? Right? Our teachers are telling you, don't do this, or do this. The teacher understands, you know the boundary. Especially meditation. When you meditate, it's a very careful area, because if you too much meditate, if you're too mindful, you never know where you will get caught up. Of course, everybody goes there to practice. So the lack of mindfulness is always a problem. That's why you go there. But when you go there, you become too mindful about, maybe you are practicing the wrong meditation, it can be a problem. I think I shared with you some time ago. There was a case that someone approached and then asked that I feel that I hate my family members now. I don't like them anymore. I don't want to join reunion dinner. I don't want to join their family things. And I exited from the family WhatsApp group. I don't like to see what they are doing. Creating a certain anti-family kind of an idea. And she asked me, is this good? And she told me this is happening because of a meditation. Because I practice it. I said, what meditation are you practicing? I am now practicing Asubha. Oh, Asubha. Asubha means meditating on 32 body parts. Think about it. She couldn't find any other meditation. Nah? Why picked up the 32 body parts? Actually, she's been practicing breath meditation earlier, like a normal breath meditation. But then in one of the sessions she participated, the teacher changed that it is better for you to practice Asubha than Anapanasati, and she started practicing this. But now the problem is, she thinks something wrong with me. I always go inside, I lock the door, I'm becoming an introvert, I don't want to talk to other people. Then I ask, before I give my answer, how do you feel when you see your family members? Forget about other people, you will definitely not like them, right? I feel only 32 body parts. When I see them, only 32 body parts come to my mind. There's no N, no XYZ people, only 32 body parts. I said, you are really going on to a very bad end in your meditation. So I told her, then the thing that you can do is, I asked, what did you practice earlier? She said, breath meditation. I said, go back to breath meditation and tell me in a couple of months. And I heard after a few months, things are getting better. Because when you start practicing Asubha, no metta will come to you, because you don't think other people exist at that point. Because you do metta by thinking other people exist, I have to give metta to them, right? Yeah, the wisdom was not given to her. She was given only look at the 32 body parts. That's the problem. Then let me tell you, then she said, things are getting better. Actually, what is this Asubha meditation? Kayagata Sati. This is a meditation given by the Buddha, even any other monk can prescribe, only to a certain individual. It is not good for normal people. Actually, it is given to people who have lots of sexual desires, not attachment. Attachment is very embedded to all of us. So when that person practices it, the person does not fanatize, sexualize other people in that strong way. Then understand, not that object, same body, I have to respect. So it is only given to a certain person for a certain time only. So it's like an antibiotic, right? Doctors will not give you antibiotics, I think, more than 3 months. Huh? That's too much, because it can kill your good bacteria, right? So when an antibiotic is given to someone for lifetime, what would happen? Yes, it's very dangerous. That's why it's very important to know what guidance should a teacher give to someone, right? So now you know Vinaya is something that we have to understand in the proper way, because it has to go through the Dhamma perspective. So if you don't understand, if you think that everybody has to follow a certain similar way, then that will be a misunderstanding. Even if you look at some stories, we will pick up Venerable Devadatta. Very interesting story, right? Who is Venerable Devadatta? Cousin of the Buddha, Yashodhara's brother, right? So, who is pro-Vinaya? Was it the Buddha or Venerable Devadatta? Venerable Devadatta is so much into Vinaya. Actually, why he was into Vinaya? In the story, in the Buddhist story, the Buddha's life story, it is because by showing lots of Vinaya to people, he can recruit, he can separate the normal crowd from the big crowd into him. So that's why one day he approached the Buddha with an ulterior motive, and he said, "Dear Buddha, from today, can you grant permission? Can you prohibit monks and nuns to stay away from 5 things? Number 1, from today onwards, monks and nuns should not stay in the temples. They must stay in the forest near a tree." And then he asked, from today onwards, monks and nuns cannot receive food in the temple, they must go for Pindapat. And from today onwards, monks and nuns should wear the robes that were made from the dead bodies, the wrapped up clothes of the dead bodies discarded in the cemetery. From today onwards, all the Sangha members must be vegetarian. So there's another one or two, I can't remember. Then the Buddha, what did the Buddha say? I'm not going to approve this. Let monks and nuns who want to practice this, let them practice. Let others not want to practice it, they may not practice it. See, Buddha is a very diplomatic person because he was maintaining a crowd. You may have your own personal way of doing it, but when you are a leader, you must make a good decision for everybody. Then actually, Venerable Devadatta knew he would not agree. He had the plan and then he went to the Buddha. Then he immediately went out and said, see, I have more Vinaya than the Buddha. Yes. And then what happened? Some unenlightened monks thought, oh, you are like the Buddha, right? You have more Vinaya than the Buddha. We follow you. So Venerable Devadatta took 500 monks. He broke 500 monks from the main crowd. He brought them to Gaya area. That means even at that time, people were cheated because of the Vinaya. This Vinaya is a very good cheating factor. When you show a lot of Vinaya, not even the devotees, even the Sangha members also feel betrayed in a way. They don't understand. Oh, maybe a good one, right? Sometimes bad people behave like they impersonate good people. But Buddha said we cannot know other people without associating them for some time. Right? So Vinaya is a very much lucrative to not even to Sangha members but also devotees to show to get some high respect. So we have so many stories like that. There are many stories like this, but what you need to understand is that let us learn Vinaya, especially your 5 precepts. At the same time, Sangha members have to understand their own Vinaya, but they have to practice according to the situation. Now, say for instance, go to the cemetery. Today we don't see a dead body in the cemetery like that. Even they do that way, they bring those clothes, then there is a hygiene problem nowadays. You cannot wear that kind of clothes, it's dirty, right? And you stay in a big monastery. And long time ago in the Vinaya it is said, you cannot keep food in a fridge, in a place after dana. But nowadays in monasteries, you can't do that. You have to have some drinks and food in a refrigerator because a lot of monks are living in the same place. That time, not many monks live in a temple. They were in the forest. Right? So this way, we have to understand. But there are certain very important Vinaya. We have to keep them. But other things, we have to understand. I think before we finish, I would like to share with you a very interesting real story about this Vinaya Dhamma thing. This was something that was told to me by one of my professors who did his PhD in early 70s in Lancaster University in the UK. So he said, during that time, there was a British person went to Burma, that time Burma, right? He became a monk. Now he's coming back to England by ship at that time. The ship coming from somewhere, I think from Australia to Penang, and then it goes up. So then he had written some letters to some of the people. I'm coming back now as a monk under Burmese tradition. When I come back, I need the proper place to stay as a monk in the UK. So they asked, what do you need? Said, I need a place to stay in the first place. So they prepared a place. Now the monk arrived, white person, and then he went in. Immediately he went back to Vinaya book. I cannot stay here. Why? Because the Buddha said in the Vinaya, the place the monk should stay should have a separate roof. This is a flat. Right? One roof, many families live here. I cannot. Then they said, we cannot afford, to go for a separate house. Right? They said, even though there's one roof, you are in your own apartment, flat. They will not come and disturb you. No, I cannot do that. So you have to find, so they were into a lot of trouble, how to find this kind of a place. And second, now he wants to travel. And then they were buying him some bus tickets. So the day that he got in the bus, That bus was driven by a female driver. Double-decker bus in English. I cannot get in this bus. Because female drivers, they said, many people are riding the bus. You go to the back of the bus and you enjoy the bus. He said, no, I cannot. Actually, what the Buddha said in the Vinaya is that don't ride a cart that is driven by the female animals. This is what is given in the Vinaya. Not the, right? So, bus driver is a female driver, not an animal, right? So he couldn't understand that. And this same thing happened when I was in one of the management committees in a temple, long time ago in Canada. This is a real story. And we had to organize a retreat. And the Sangha member is coming from Sri Lanka. And then the kind of the people who are going to organize with us in our place at that time in Vancouver, they were asking, we want to have a separate roof building for the Sangha member. Because now we have a big hall and then the house and there's a barn. Barn was being repaired that time. There were horses before at that time. So we only have our Sangha member quarters, but we cannot accommodate him in that, only few rooms. So what will happen is that the female yoginis, they are going to stay, I think, upstairs of that building, and the males are living downstairs, and he will have a room, separate room. But he also had told them, I cannot because there is only one roof, right? Only one roof because I cannot. Then we were asking, how about he's coming to Canada? He's coming in the flight, right, for 16 hours. One roof, flight has one roof. Huh? And coming from a Gulf airline, you can't say there's a lady, you have to quit from my seat. Why are we not looking at it in a very practical way? Why are you demonizing them? If you cannot take care of your thoughts, that is your problem. It's about taking care of your thoughts, not about physically evacuating these people, right? That's why I'm trying to tell you. This is from the some incidents. This can also refer to lay people. Sometimes when you are trying to create a very harsh kind of Vinaya perspective, Sila perspective, it can become very uncomfortable for other people. While we keep our boundaries, we have to be able to coexist. I think these, now this is Kesi Sutta, these Sangha members, Kosambi monks, couldn't understand that. That's why they took sides in that. So the moral of the story at the end is that one thing is that we have to practice Dhamma Vinaya together, especially the Vinaya part, by understanding the situation. Second is that every time you want to argue with someone, unless if it is something very important to clarify, you always can bring this thing called, I will die one day. Why to quarrel with this person? There are so many important things for me to cultivate in my life. Even I win this argument, what will I get out of this? So this is a very interesting motivation for us to de-escalate from possible unnecessary argument. If there's something you want to talk, you talk in a nice way. But I think most of the things we are trying to argue are very worthless things in our life. We simply want to build up and maintain our identity. So that's what we learn here. Please read the rest if you have time. So now we will take maybe 5 minutes for any questions. So please raise your hand. Brother Tan will bring the mic to you.
This mic or the mic there. Any questions from the floor?
Bhante, how do we correct the misinterpretation of this Vinaya? Because I do come across people misinterpret, like just now, the instances where the female and the male cannot be under one roof. So how do we correct this misinterpretation?
Actually, now in that example, you can't live in a house, especially if you are Upasampada Hyodian monk, you cannot live in a building that has one roof. This is not going to work for the most part of our daily life in today's world. Because at that time, it was a different background that monks and nuns spend time together, spend time. So I think the Sangha members have to understand how it can really work out in the today's societies. Otherwise, they will hold on to a very rigid, unnecessary thing. Actually, it can cause lay people to spend more money, have to buy a new place. And plus, what is the point? I mean, your main thing is that you are demonizing females, right?
Yeah, true. Because like some buildings, they are like 2 floors, 3 floors. So
Only
if-
one roof.
Correct. If the Sangha member come, all the female devotees have to stay elsewhere, which is not practical, right?
Yes, it's not practical.
But that's why I say, how do we, avoid this kind of Vinayas, misinterpretation of the Vinayas teaching?
I think it has to come from the senior Sangha leaders because they are the ones who are officiating these things, who are giving the advices, and then who are dealing with these things.
Yeah.
Devotees cannot do that much.
In fact, they are imparting this knowledge down, because I do once offer dana to a Sangha member. I mean, we eat out, but then there are some devotees telling me, no, you cannot, because you cannot, female cannot fetch a Sangha out for, that kind of misinterpretation. I do agree that it's very wrong, you see.
Well, that particular thing that you were talking about, I mean, today society is little more different than what we see in the Buddhist time. During the Buddhist time, they didn't want to use vehicles. Who was going on in a vehicle, right? It is not necessary for them. They were living in the forest. Actually, when you are only living in the forest, what good thing you are doing for the devotees? I think these monks who are living in the city, they are doing more services for devotees. They are coming for your blessing. They are receiving your dana to give merits, and they are giving Dhamma talks, right? When you go to the forest, you are only focusing on your own enlightenment. I mean, we don't say anything bad about it, but I think city monks are doing a lot. So then, when you are living in a city in the modern world, you are not walking all the time, right? So I think today we have to understand how to exist as a Buddhist monk according to the today's conditions, right? That is the most important. Now, another very interesting is money. That is a very interesting topic. Even if you don't ask me questions. Now, let's say long time ago in Sri Lanka, there was a tradition that some forest monks who are not using money, they were issued some coupons. So let's say when they get into the bus, the conductor comes, where are you going? This destination, okay, 10 rupees. So he's going to take out stamps equal to 10 rupees. But the problem is, now the problem here is that not the currency itself. You are carrying something valuable to the money. But nowadays, what is money? Is it paper currency coin? No, you are transferring money. How to interpret this money? Now, let's say you are not, somebody might say, I am not accepting money. How do you define it? Money has gone to digital versions, credit cards, e-wallets. It says there is someone who is using only e-wallet, saying, I don't accept money. What kind of cheating is this? I think we have to be practical. But the reason why the Buddha said don't accept money was that at that time, monks didn't have a bag. They were using the alms bowl. At that time, there were no coins and paper currency. It was only the gold, diamond and silver. So when monks were taking these things after they received, they were stolen, they were robbed on the roads. Sometimes they were killed. And the Buddha said, you don't accept these things. Because you have no security, you are just walking on the street. That is the main thing. Second is that when you don't know how to handle money as a monk, then it will become your end of your spiritual life. I think these two are very important. I think it's applicable to all of us. If you discipline about money, then it should be okay. But Other than that, if someone is saying, I don't accept money, but send me the transfer, I think that's going to be really not sensible, you know. It's a cheating, I think. Yes.
Monks before ordination have to close all their accounts and whatever assets that they have to settle that, then only go for ordination. But there are some monks that in countries like maybe like South America and all that, because the society there do not understand dana and all those things. When people give contribution, they actually open an account so that they can manage the temple and that kind of things themselves, because there is not like here in this part of the world where the lay people will take over all this management of the daily activities.
No, I mean, lay people can do that. I mean, they can, I think it's good lay people handle it. But sometimes there are needs that Sangha members have. They cannot tell the devotee about it, right? So I think they have to wisely manage it. Now the problem is, as you said, closing accounts. We don't see that people had bank accounts during the Buddha's time. Where do you see bank? There were no banks at that time. No banks. Actually, when the bank system came into the human world, some people question why we bring our money and deposit in that person's thing. Our money. Why he take our money? And then this interest culture came. So the thing is that actually relevant part is when someone is going to become a monk, senior Sangha members have to do a credit check whether he has borrowed money, they didn't pay back. That must be done. They must do 2 checks, criminal check, credit check. Right? Why? At that time, there were some people who borrowed money and then directly went to the temple, asked monks, I want to become a monk. Once you become a monk, you cannot be criminalized at that time. That was a law. Also, when some other people, they did crimes and they became monks. Other than that, I don't think that's bank accounts. No, there were no even banks. Buddha's time. Maybe they are doing it as a culture in that part of the world. Actually, it's good, when you become a monk permanently, it's better to handle it, close down properly and then become a monk. It's not about the accounts or whatever. What is that you don't try to cheat other people. That's the most important, because Buddhism talks about integrity. Your candidness, integrity. It's not about money. It's not about XYZ people. Your integrity should survive. It has to be more surviving as a monk and a nun, because when you become as such. Otherwise, you go back to Vinaya, you are using Vinaya to cheat. Sometimes some people can use Vinaya to cheat as well. Now think about, you can survive in that flat. Say, no, I cannot, one roof, buy me a new temple. You use Vinaya to bring people into spending more money, because people don't understand this. I can't go in that bus because lady driver. That Vinaya doesn't talk about lady driver. Female animals are given that. So, okay. Any other question? Any questions about today?
Okay, maybe I talk about the quarreling. So I mean, out of instant anger, the quarreling will start. So, but some of you say it will never end and carry on to the next generation. So, how do you actually?
You mean instant anger is
when
happening?
when you quarrel,
You worry it will go to the next generation.
Yes. I mean, how do you? I mean, the other party may not want to settle with us. So, but how do we forgive them?
No. You think about this. I will die one day.
Yeah.
That's what he says,
I
right?
know.
Hey? Those who understand that I will die in this world, your quarrel will be allayed. I think we don't think it a little bit serious. We think, I have so many years to live, right? I think it's better. What does it mean? Impermanence. Overall impermanence. This is Life is impermanent. So why should I waste my life, for those things? I think when you have the impermanence, you will forgive, you will go on your way. You don't have to bother about what they are doing. Your anger, everything subsidized.
But the spur of the moment you have quarrel, you see, maybe when the person suddenly provoke you and then you just like quarrel
Yeah,
back.
the moment that person is trying to provoke you, you know that it is not worth quarreling back. Just because someone trying to quarrel, there's no such thing called I have to quarrel back. There's the quarrel is worthless here.
But for a lay person, I mean, it's just like instantly
No, everybody
not
I'm talking,
mindfulness.
sorry,
You may not
Master.
be mindful at that time.
No, I think it's not mindfulness. How to de-escalate from a struggle or fight is that you carry this attitude, anicca, dukkha, anatta attitude. It doesn't mean you go away. When you deal with people, are you talking about business or family?
I mean, either
In general.
yeah,
In general. Let's say you work with different people. There are a lot of problems that can arise when we work with different people. But if we are wise, we know how to handle them. That wisdom primarily comes from knowing anicca and materializing anicca in our actions. We think this is really worthless to attack back. Attack itself is a wrong thing, akusala thing. But if there is something that I have to convey to them, I have to tell that. Otherwise, don't try to add more gas into that fire. Then it will be more harmful.
But the other party will take you as weak.
No. Other party will think if you just walk away from the problem, you have to give a wise response to them.
Wise response.
I'm not going to fight with you. You better focus on that particular thing. You give a wise response. Then the rival will understand you simply did not walk away. You reminded something with wisdom. Yes. Okay, because of the timing, we will make it to only 2 short questions. Huh? Yes.
I think Mr. Tan here means that if you quarrel over something that is like within the family, like inheritance, it will evolve and it doesn't end. Is it that meaning?
Generational part, I couldn't address that part. Actually, anger is generational. Okay, if you see the anger with regard to Aboriginals, First Nations, their anger is generational because it is going towards their other generations. It's not good. They are thinking they are fighting against the injustice. So I think as Buddhists, we know we should not think anger is our help. We have to find a good solution for the problem. Until you find that wise choice, you are struggling. Then why you are passing down that to your other people, right? It's more terrible. It's not good. Yes, one very short question.
Okay,
Yes.
Bhante, I just want to ask some advice. I have this friend. He is hypersensitive, He is a vegetarian, long-term vegetarian, over 30 years as I understand. And he always associates with the Sangha. But, if somebody says something that he don't like, and then he make enemies of that person, and that grudge can hold on like forever. So how do you advise such a person?
Okay, what kind of thing can he be provocated?
Very simple thing. As long as it doesn't agree with your point of view, that becomes an enemy.
Okay, that clearly shows. I mean, of course, there are very good vegetarians, even vegans. We respect that. Perhaps even his attitude to that could be this kind of attitude, very much rigid about it. So that's why when you are rigidly following good things, not even vegetarianism, sila, samadhi, meditation, then you become very perfectionist in that thinking. When someone talks something a bit contrary to what you believe, you become very provocated. So that means the person has not been able to understand anicca, dukkha, anatta nature of this life. So to me, although you see couple good things from outside, that person is in a spiritual struggle. I think he needs to. It's well. I mean, if you're going to fix it that way, he will even take it as an offense. right? Why are you going to change me, right? I'm good. What's wrong with me? So that's why it's very important to know this person's behavior. We have to study about him, and the right person has to teach this person in a very careful manner. Otherwise, your effort to do it will also become an offense to him. He will fight with anybody, everywhere, all the time.
But Bante, like what I said, if he don't like to be changed, and then he is like what this lady sister was saying, that she's more towards a friend to the monastic
Sangha.
sangha. So I think is nothing to do with her, correct or not?
Yes, very good
She's-
point. Sangha members should have supported him, but
Yeah.
a lot of Sangha members, when they get support, sometimes they might not comment on him. Maybe Sangha members don't understand his this nature. He becomes provocated elsewhere, because when someone comes closer to Sangha members, they are having the requisite perspective with him. Yes, maybe they think this is.
But if he, I don't know how's his attitude like. If he don't go and disturb other people, he's just like on his own life. He okay, like what she said, she's a bit sensitive with what people said, but he didn't fight back or talk back or anything. He just moved away. I think there's nothing wrong, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, but he looks like he has to be in a cave in the jungle.
But if he don't depends to anybody, he can survive by himself. Any issue?
No, he can. The problem here is that, in my understanding, whatever the good thing he is doing, he has rigidly clung to them. That is why he gets offended very fast. That's a very big issue, because that means, although he is a vegetarian, he is not freed from his identity. That's the problem. He is attached to his identity very strongly. That's why he becomes very picked on. No, he is only free from meat, not free from the defilements. Right, that's the thing here. So we have to free from both meat, fish, and also defilements, akusala. Okay, right. That's a good thing. All right.
Yes.
So then we are going to. What's that?
One question. I just
We
want
have-
to. Just now is about the horse trainer. You see, the last part is about gentle and harsh, and if we cannot do it, kill the horse, right? So it's like saying that if you don't kill the horse, you just leave it into the forest, let it go. Is it that we do this way?
No, we don't see that Casey is saying that he let the horse loose like that.
I mean, for human,
For human.
we just let go.
No, this is coming from a teacher, not from us. Now, if you were the Buddha, this is how you deal with someone like your student. But in your capacity, when you have friends, it's a different thing. It's a different scenario. This is only applicable to a teacher. Teachers only can get that idea. I was trying to, because you can't do that. Because you should support your Kalyana Mittas and others in your whatever the way. Only a teacher who can give the Dhamma journey can behave like this.
My thinking is that if someone is so stubborn and you try to explain and try to guide and to show the advantage and disadvantage, then if you cannot, then you just avoid the person. Is
Okay,
it?
that's no harm. I think it's very common sense.
It's like you say,
Yeah, maybe
let go lah.
you have to still do metta for that person. What you can do,
yeah.
may you have wisdom to become a better person. That is your only wish.
But when you do metta, you just do prayers like that. You don't see the person.
No.
right?
Metta is not only a prayer. I mean, the way you talk to that person, the way you think about that person, the way you act with that person has to come from loving kindness, metta. Now, you said you can't deal with that person, right? So, if you cannot deal with that person, if you tried everything, but you cannot do that
You
much,
just
like in this
let
example.
go.
Not let go, I mean, you cannot let go people like that, right? I mean, we don't
I
do
mean, you
that.
try to avoid the person. I mean that way.
If it is not safe for you to associate, you will have to kind of keep a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. We let go only akusala. Even you break up with someone, we let go the akusala about that person. Right? We still do metta for that person, right? That is our Buddhist way. Okay, I
Okay,
think
we
we
end
will
the session
end the
today.
session.
Okay, let's all say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's just all kneel and
Can we do the transference of
Oh, you
merits
do a
and
transfer
then
merit, I forgot,
do
sorry,
that?
yeah.
Okay. So we are going to transfer the good karmas we will be making today by learning about Dhammapada's 6th verse about why we should not fight. The reason that we can use is that we will die one day. This is a good way to de-escalate. But if you want to send a message to that person, tell that, clarify that. So may all these the good teachings that you learn become good karmas. May all these good karmas be transferred to all departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May all the departed ones passed away in the name of us receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.